Hey, good night, everybody. Good night, everybody, and welcome to the 11th hour. Tonight, we are going to hang out, talk a little bit. This show is always for the late night entrepreneur. Those of you who are up tonight working on your plans, working on your business, working on your brand, right? But you're up tonight and you're doing something that matters, I hope. Or you're just even winding down and letting this be the last communication that you get for today, and maybe that can help to springboard you into a good day tomorrow. So my name is Dwayne Hirsch. I'm a real estate agent owner with Hirsch Network Real Estate, brokered by eXp Realty. I'm an executive board member for the Small Business Advocacy Council, and I'm also the host of the Dwayne Hirsch Masterclass, starting this Monday, August 6th, and going on again August 13th and August 20th, starting this Monday with the Psychology of Entrepreneurship. August 13th is business development, and August 20th is networking, the art of networking to be able to build your brand and your business. So there's a lot that we can talk about here tonight with this subject, right? So what I wanted to do is I kind of looked at the idea of a brand, because everybody today, social media has got everybody to a point where once you get, a couple hundred, few thousand, 10,000 or more followers, people start to call you a brand, and your name and your likeness starts to carry value, it seems, in social currency on the internet. Some people have built ways to monetize that as social influencers. But if you, just going back to what a brand is, a brand is something that a farmer would take, and he would take that branding iron and burn his logo essentially onto that cattle. They call it his brand. A circle with a K or whatever that would be. And that's his cow, that's his cattle. That's also the way that they branded slaves. That's also the way that they made us the property of the particular slave master. And the idea of the way that the brand was applied meant that it had to be there for your lifetime. It wasn't going anywhere. It's burned into you. A lot of you that have been in fraternities have brands like that. A lot of Sigmas, I know, Omegas. Shout out to y'all if y'all out there listening tonight. But yeah, you guys have those brands too. And for the rest of your life, you carry that name on you. And so your approach to a lot of people are calling themselves brands, but don't necessarily know how to tie that into the business that they profess to be in. And I'm not saying this to disparage anyone, because it's okay for you to want to, kind of speak things into existence and operate from a position of power. But in order for you to do that, it's really incumbent upon you to really learn the business that you're in. Because once you start calling yourself a brand, what you're saying is that you are the face of whatever it is that your business represents. You're the face of that everywhere you go. So if you are a global business and you're the face of it, then you yourself might be the global brand or the face of your business as a brand. There's distinctions that have to be made there. And what I find is, and the reason why I'm seeing a reason to talk to that distinction is because there's a lot of people out here who say and talk all the time about being a brand, but they're not operating like a brand, not just from a business perspective, but just in an image perspective. So one of the definitions, just looking up the definition of the word and kind of seeing what the dictionary says and how it applies to my thinking on this. A particular identity or image regarded as an asset. An identity or image regarded as an asset. So if you have a company, what is the identity of your company? Hell, what is your identity as an individual if you're the brand? Whatever your name is, I'm a brand. Okay, what's your identity? And what is it worth as an asset? I asked you earlier, or I posed a question earlier on my timeline, and I asked a question about how you manage your time. What is your time worth to you? If you don't know what an hour of your time is worth to you, you're not a brand. You are a person that is aspiring to build a business that may one day become a brand. If you do not have a formal business structure, you are not a brand. Shout out to Shara Kamal, our masterclass sponsor, who will definitely be there for the business development portion of the masterclass on August the 13th, talking about formulating your business structure, which is really the first step. Do you have a bank account? Do you have a tax ID number? Do you have a way to collect money from the people that are paying you? Do you have a way to send money to the people you owe? Those are the things that make you into a legitimate business. Now, in order for us to go into brand, we're going into identity. We're going into the management of what it looks like. And for a lot of us that are entrepreneurs, we're the only one we got sometimes. We can't pay a celebrity or some social influencer to brand it for us. So through our posting and through our networking, we become the face of that brand. So they start to say, you are a real estate person, or you are a marketing person, or you are a whatever. And that's fine. But in order for you to be a brand, what you really got to consider is that you have to take what I call, in the psychology of entrepreneurship, the immersive approach to running your business. It's one that says that every day, all day, everywhere you go, everything you do, everything you post about is involving your business. It's looking into ways to study and learn about the business you do. So it's okay to build it as you go, but be studying that. Because when the opportunity comes for you to meet somebody important and specific and they call you on that, you better be ready. If you're calling yourself a brand, you better be ready to face the vetting that people are going to do to you. Especially when you say I'm a brand and I'm raising money. Oh, I got 15,000 followers on Facebook, 20,000 followers, and people are starting to have done it for a while now, attach value to that. But what is the value you're attaching to it, and can you deliver on the specifics? You know, you got to be, when you say you're a brand and you are the brand, you got to be consumed in that work. You got to be, especially if it's a business that you don't know. How much do you know of the business that you're in? If you're in marketing, you're in PR, you're in promotions, you know, if you're in the restaurant business, catering, or any of these things that people are doing these days, even the newer kind of more innovative businesses, you're building apps or whatever. Do you know the actual business? Do you have a revenue model that's functional, a revenue model that you can package up and present to someone that you would like to see give you money? Because if you got that 15,000 followers, they want to know, how are you going to quantify? How are you going to pull that 15,000 people and convert them into purchases for your brand, for your business, for your online products, whatever it may be, even services, right? You know, I had a lady one time when we were doing a premium project, and she called me, you know, said that she was in marketing and in branding, and she wanted to do all these wonderful things for Premium Energy VIP, right? So at the time, we were in a whole lot of stores. It was like, no matter where you were, there was a place I could point you to go buy the drink and pick it up if you wanted to try it out. And, you know, she gave me a 10-minute speech without ever asking me, like, hey, do you got a minute? You know what I mean? She gave me a 10-minute speech about all these wonderful things she was going to do with the brand. And all I asked her was one question. I said, have you ever tried it? And she said, no. And I said, what's your name again? How'd you get my number? Because you're going to run down to me how you're going to sell my product, but you haven't even bothered to go try it. You've watched me promote it, telling you where to go get it, and you've never gone out and bought it and even shown support enough for it to be able to speak to me from a position of knowledge and strength. That's bad business. You're not a brand. You're not doing marketing. How many followers you got? You're going to get me, 10,000 likes on Facebook and you got 400. That happens. So all I'm saying is this. Again, this is not to disparage anybody. So if you're a person that's digging out of the trap and you working to do better, don't take offense to that. See it as an encouragement and a sense of constructive criticism for you to just make simple improvements and do it better. Take a day. Sit down with myself as a business consultant. Sit down with somebody like, or try to get a meeting with Tennille Jackson or Sharisha Purnell or anybody out there that's really, that you know is a real social media maverick and doing this stuff. If that's your business, talk to them. If you're in the construction business, talk to, Dave Cousins, I own a construction. You can talk to a lot of people in the construction business. You can talk to Wilbur Millhouse or Malcolm Williams. You can talk to, who is we talking about, Malcolm, tonight? Larry Huggins and those guys, that you can reach out to mentors and people. And don't be, I had an experience, you know, in real estate. Now I have the ability to build essentially a brokerage of agents inside this wonderful business model that is eXp Realty. And in doing that, I've talked to a lot of agents about it and how, you know, how they can come in and do well, do better, and build themselves a retirement plan in the future through this company. And so I've had some people that really, you know, kind of got down on me and like, yeah, well, I have a brand and I'm tied to this and I'm tied to that. And I said, well, okay, I'll take a look at it. So before I meet with them, there's a site that I can go to and see a real estate agent's number. So I know how much, before I sit down with you real estate agents, I've already looked at your numbers. I know what you sold and you haven't sold. And it don't mean that you're not great or you're not good at what you do. It just means don't try to front like you're something you're not. And you say, well, my brand is about this and my brand is about that. And you got 6 transactions in the last 2 years on HomeSnap. That's not it. So maybe you can look at somebody who is building a brand at a level that exceeds your own and accept their invitation to join forces, or just where you can be a mentor to them and they're off doing their own thing. The model that we operate under doesn't require them to necessarily have to be tied to me, but you can still, you know, take my tutelage and work with me on clients and deals or whatever. So there's a lot of people out there who are not, you know, what happens is social media kind of has an effect where it can blow your damn head up, just to be real about it. You know, you get, you know, you posted and you got 500 likes and 500 comments on some controversial ass topic, or, you know, I've had people say, people are listening to me. People listen to what I got to say. Okay, that's cool. They do. But how can you capture that? How can you monetize that into something meaningful? That's a hell of a challenge for me. Not only on top of social media, my challenge was trying to draw that out of the hundreds of events that Fuzzy and I did, you know, together in the Red Kiva days and all of that, and all of the events that I went to. How the hell do you quantify information that's just coming down a funnel faster than you can really get sifted through in the way of putting information in a database? So that's a difficult challenge for all of us. But the key is, whatever business you're in, just know the business and know what you want to do in the business. Part of the reason we're having this masterclass is because I know that every one of you got gaps in your business. If you sat down and you gave me your motto and you showed me your operation, I guarantee you, if it's not a gap in your process, there's going to be some way, somehow, that you're leaving money on the table in the business. Sometimes it's just a simple efficiency issue, where things are placed on a counter, the way that you spend the money that you're marketing, what crowd you're going toward, how to build new revenue streams. There's always something new in this day and age to be able to add to a business. And if you want to be a brand, don't be afraid to go to somebody and pay them fair value for what they're asking. How you going to be, oh, I'm a brand, and you out here asking for the hookup every day? You don't want to pay nobody what they're worth while you're trying to, how am I going to, you know, squeeze you on the price of flyers for a property that I might make $10,000 on when I sell, and I'm going to squeeze you over $25 on the flyers that I'm using to sell the property? But I'm a brand. I'm this reputable brand. I am a particular identity or image that's regarded as an asset, like the dictionary says. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. So it's all about being aware of what your function is what it really boils down to. What are you really capable of, and where do you really stand? You know, I'm not, I don't, you know, have this conversation to arrogate myself and make it seem like I perfected this shit, because I have not. I study the things that other people post and other people do, but I can tell you this: I know my business and I know my industry. I know political advocacy work. I know that tomorrow the governor is coming to sign another SBAC bill that changes the Liquor Control Act of 1934 and now gives us more opportunity to build businesses where old storefront churches and things either currently do or still sit. But now we have an opportunity to do more engaged community and economic development there because of this bill that gets signed into law tomorrow. So I know that. I know advocacy, right? It's not all my effort, it's the organization. But I'm on the executive board because I know what the hell I'm doing and what I'm talking about. And on top of that, I know real estate. I know business development because I have a broad breadth of experience that has shown me that. So if you call yourself a brand, it's cool, but be ready to live up to it, especially if you want to do business with me. I'm at a point right now when I'm really tired of playing. See, I think that I was feeding into some of the issues that we have in Black business because I wasn't always honest. I haven't always been honest with you about how I feel about your product or your service sometime. I haven't always been honest. Like really sitting you down and saying, look, man, let me tell you how I saw your business. And sometimes because you feel like people gonna think you hating or they're gonna take the shit personal and get mad at you and now you ain't friends no more because you offer this criticism, right? We talked about it the other day. But another shout out to my man Bill Coney from Forever Yogurt. I went into his spot one day a couple weeks ago. I saw one or two little things that I felt like, could have been adjusted. He wasn't at the store, and a newer employee was there, and he took that constructively and went about and made a change in that and said, thanks, man. I appreciate you telling me where I'm falling short. So as brands, farmers, as branders of animals, they support one another in their mutual right to do business and own the lands upon which their cattle graze. The slave owners were the same way. Slave owners were unified in their belief in the system of slavery and the proliferation of slavery as a way of doing business. They were committed to that, and they were really, really kind of unified in that. The people, so what I'm saying is that the branders, you're a brand, I'm a brand, he's your prepper too. That, what I'm talking about, you got to be unified and working with each other in order for the businesses that you're in to thrive and survive. You can learn a lesson from some bullshit like that. You can learn a lesson about unity from some evil, dumb shit like slavery and the way that system worked among the people who were in the business of it. So if you're in the business of setting products up and basically pushing that out to the masses, you're sending messages and marketing and ads every day and Facebook posts and memes and all this other shit, be consistent with what you do if you're going to call yourself a brand. Be consistent. No matter what business you're in. You're in a dry cleaners. You got a name that you got out there. Shout out to my man Kurt Cargill, Spotless Solutions. I see my guy Liddell Matthews on here. I know he's in that business. You still got a name. And everybody want to go to Mr. So-and-so's for cleaning. Hey, go up to Spotless. Take these suits up to Spotless. And it's the name, right? It's the name they recognize. And sometime in the old days, it used to be the man's face that was the face of his business all the time. But there wasn't no TV and social media to proliferate that the way we have the ability to do now. So the fact that you can even call yourself a brand today leads me to my final point. There's a hell of a lot of opportunity out there. If I would have told you 20 years ago, just 20 years ago, that the time was coming when everybody could essentially say, oh, I'm a brand. DwayneHurst.com. I'm a brand. I've got a business and I'm working with people and coaching people and doing all this shit that you basically figured out one day you wanted to do and could just go do it. Wasn't no college required. Nobody asking you for your degrees from whatever university. You get the chance to make this shit up as you go along. So the least you can do is be dedicated and wrapped up in it in a way that'll bring you the benefit that you're sacrificing for. Don't tell me how, oh man, I ain't got no time for this. I ain't got no time for this. You busy as hell, you running, but you're not living up to nothing. On the night when you should be working, you at the spot partying. You at the, I got people who trying to squeeze on numbers, but they posted pictures with Gucci shoes and shit on, and then try to squeeze you on your price for what you're doing. It's just not fair, and we need to stop that shit. So as everybody talks about economic development and the resources that are being kept from us and our need for unity, it starts with self-awareness as an individual for one, but then the self-awareness that you got about your people and what's really going on. And don't be afraid to speak to that. So here's my pledge to you tonight. I am going to make sure that I'm going to be honest with you, not brutally and, try to fuck with your emotions, because you're emotional. But I'm going to be honest with you about how I feel about your business or the way you do business. And you can either take it or leave it. But just know that I've given a lot of my lifetime to trying to help entrepreneurs, and I ain't got time nor the upward view of you to hate on you. So that's never my motive. It's only going to be to help you if that's the case. And it's presented in a way that's not adversarial. It's, hey man, I got a suggestion. Can I offer you something? I'll even ask you. Can I tell you, are you cool with me telling you this? Sometimes, you ever tell somebody some shit and they feel like they know, and then they just, like, I know, man, they just push you off. Bad sign. Very bad sign when somebody does that. You want to make sure that you stay focused on knowing your business, and all these other things that you're looking for in business will be passed on to you if you seek ye first that thing that comes first, the knowledge of that which you are doing. It shouldn't take you 3 days to get me a quote in the digital age on damn near no service out here. Don't take you that long to get me a quote. If you got people, if you're doing if you're operating as a pass-through entity where you're essentially acting as a broker in between two things, know your numbers on both sides. Know your margins. Take a look at how much time you spend every day text messaging. So the example I gave this morning said text messages. If you count the number of text messages that you got, it's your homework assignment. Go back and count all the text messages today and attach a time frame to the fact that you read them and then the time it took to respond to them. And add that up. Now stack that against your hourly rate of service that you see as your worth. And you will see that number as the value of that time that you spent doing those text messages. Now, if it was business, cool. That's great. But if it's not, then you need to start to look at your life in more efficient ways, because that's how brands kind of work, right? So the last thing is that real brands are sustainable and they're long lasting. So a lot of the things that we use in our house, whether it's Post-it notes or Coca-Cola and Pepsi or all these different things, A1 steaks, these are things that have been around forever because they have an identity or an image that's regarded as an asset. But that asset is created by a proper operational function of your business, starting with you really just knowing and caring about what the fuck you're doing. So with that, enjoy the rest of your night tonight. Don't make the 11th hour your last hour. Go to DwayneHurst.com and sign up for the masterclass. The first one is on August 6th, The Psychology of Entrepreneurship. And we're going to do everything that we can do to help to alter your perspective on how you operate and how the world around you operates in a way where you can start to gain the benefit that you need for yourself. August 13th, Business Development 101. Shara Kamal is going to be on hand to talk about business structures and how to get that first set of things that you need to get together, because that's the first thing you have to do on the road to capital acquisition. But there's a lot of material in the middle, in the way. And then networking. How do you take a renewed mindset and a renewed vigor for a refreshed business model and then transmit that into the networking space to start to accelerate the law of attraction and bringing the things that you need closer to you? So again, don't make the 11th hour your last hour. See you again tomorrow. I'm doing these every night, all week. I'm here for you. Be here for me. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.